Hiya, Laurie here, welcome back. So today we are jumping straight on into part 2 of my bullet journal setup, and as you can see I'm going straight in and drawing a little leaf design at the side of the page, and this is going to be my yearly goals page. If you haven't seen part 1, I will link it below, and I would highly recommend watching that one first, as we did the first half of my yearly setup for my bullet journal. This is my first, technically it's my second bullet journal, but I didn't really use my last bullet journal for longer than maybe a month, which I'm hoping I will stick to this one for a lot longer, just to help me stay organised. So as you can see, I'm drawing 3 boxes in a sort of layered way, and I've just kind of done little faux pins to look like they're kind of pinned to a board, and then I'm just writing yearly goals at the top, and then I'm going to go in and add some colour to my sort of little leaf design at the side of the page, kind of like a climbing vine, which is sort of the theme I'm going for, sort of vintage nature for the start of my bullet journal setup. So I'm basically just doing a sort of botanical, vintage, floral kind of theme. I'm not much of a drawer, but I do like to draw flowers and things like that, which I find a lot easier than drawing anything else. So as you can see, I'm just using a fine line marker to go over the pencil lines that I put in initially. I'm then going in and colouring the leaves in different colours of green, and I'm using the Stabilo OH pen 77 colouring pens, along with my Tombow dual brush pens, and also a few touch new alcohol based ink marker pens, which actually I regret using. That's the ones that I'm using, the pen that I'm using just now, but they seep through the page quite a lot. They actually went through quite a few pages, whereas the Tombow pens didn't, so I think I'll be sticking to those in the future, as I ended up having to go back in and actually cover some spreads and paste paper over the top, just so that I can fully see what was happening on the page, as with the ink seeping through, it covered up a lot of the details in the spreads behind this page. But anyway, I'm going on to the next spread, which is a books to read spread, and I've just drawn a sort of bookcase with some books in it, and I'm just going to colour in the bookcase in brown, and then I'm going to go in and draw the book spines, and what I'll do is write down any books that I want to read on the spines, and once I have read them I will colour in the book spines. So if you've got any book recommendations, I would love to hear them down below. I love to read fantasy, adventure, things like that, books, so anything that you would recommend, I would absolutely love to hear it, as I'm hoping to read more books this year, as I kind of didn't really read that many last year and I've really missed it. So yeah, I'm just going in and drawing over the pencil lines with my fine line marker, and the pen that I'm using here is the Pentel Super Fine Point permanent marker, and I really like how smooth and fine it is. I think it is at the fine point is a level 50, but I actually don't know, as I don't have another size to compare it to. But I kind of swap between this and my regular fine line writing pen, which again I really like the thickness of the pen, and I just really like how well it writes. And those pens I just got on AliExpress. These ones were this pen was gifted to me, so I'm really not sure where you would get it. But anyway, I'm just adding my header, which just says books to read, and I've kind of done it in a little wooden plaque kind of way with nails popped into it. And then we're jumping straight on into our next spread, which technically would be my expenses, which is my monthly bills and monthly income, but obviously for privacy reasons I've left that page out for now, and I'm going straight on into the next one, which is my pen pal tracker. So I'm drawing a sort of open envelope with basically a stamp label, which is where I'll put my title, and then I'm drawing a sort of notebook page at the top, one of those notebooks that you would like pull the page and it would rip off the spiral binding. So I'm just drawing that, and then I'm just drawing in a sort of little grid where I'll put the date that comes in, the name of the person who has sent the letter, and the date that it goes out. And I'm really hoping that this will help me get back on track with sending out my pen pal letters in a more structured way and without taking too long to send them back replies, as I've been really bad with that the last couple of years, where it's taken me way too long to reply to my letters. However, I do end up having to change this later on and add a page over it, and I also end up adding a inner page, so like a tip-in, where I will be putting my pen pal's addresses, but you will see that at the end when I do a final flip through. So on to the next page, I'm doing a gift ideas page, which is where if I have an idea for someone's birthday or Christmas, I will pop it down here. If someone tells me that they like something or they would really want to buy something, I can pop it in here as a gift to get for them, just so that I can remember any ideas I have throughout the year. And then if I do end up buying it and gifting it, I will just kind of highlight it so that I know for myself that I've given that gift. Again, I end up having to cover this page, but I do the exact same design. I just do it on a separate piece of paper, which I then glue on top. The only difference is I add a little girl sticker at the bottom, and again you'll see that at the final flip through. On to the next page, I'm going into a study tracking chart. I really want to study more this year. I want to learn how to drive and take a few business classes. I've heard that Skillshare is really good and I would like to take some of their classes. So I'm just sort of decorating it with this pink line sort of thing, which I ended up, it like soaked through like 3 pages, so I wasn't too happy about that. But I've got the goal, which is what I want to learn, and then the lesson name and the date I started the lesson, and then the date I ended the lesson. And that's just so I can kind of keep track of what I'm studying and how often I am studying. So as you can see, I've got pink lines on this page that I've seeped through from the previous spread, and this is going to be my March cover title spread. And I'm just drawing a pretty large tree that's just kind of coming into bloom, so it's got a lot of leaves on it, but not completely a full set of leaves. And obviously I'm not going to make you watch me draw out all of these leaves, so I do kind of cut it at certain areas. I've also left a sort of square rectangle shape out on the left hand side, which is where I'll be adding a frame. As for this month, I'm going to be using the theme of Mother's Day, as it's in March. I did say that I was going to start with the last week of February, but since the last week of February is also the first week of March, I figured it would be easier just to jump straight into March rather than having to do 2 months of work when I really only need to do 1. So as I said, the theme for this month is Mother's Day and just family and love. And like I said, in the left hand side page, the page I'm working on just now, kind of in that little area where the trees are kind of wrapped around a square, is where I will be putting a frame and a sticker of a family that is very similar to my own. I have 2 kids, a daughter and a son, and the daughter is the oldest. So I've just made this sticker with a wee family inside it. So I'm adding some kind of foliage don't think I said that correctly, at the bottom of the page, with just some flowers and leaves and sort of weeds, just to kind of finish off that botanical style spread. And then I will go in and start adding my colour, which again I use the Tombow brush pens and the alcohol inks, which again I regretted using. So yeah, I don't think I'll be using those again throughout this journal. But as I said before, I'm not going to make you watch me colour in all these leaves, so I do cut it quite a few times. But I do colour them in several different colours of green, just so that it looks more realistic. And I'm just randomly grabbing different colours of green and randomly colouring little leaves spread out throughout the tree. There's no kind of process to this. I'm just randomly dispersing them equally throughout the tree, and then I will continue to colour in the rest of the page. So I hope you're all doing well. I would love to hear down in the comments how everyone is doing and what you're working on. If you've got a bullet journal, what did you choose for your monthly theme for your spread to be? Do you usually pick a theme, or do you just kind of stick to a certain style throughout the year? I'd love to know down below. If you've got ideas for April, I'm thinking of doing a Easter theme, with Easter being in April, and daffodils because of my favourite flower. My birthday is actually in April, but I think Easter's a tad bit more important than my own birthday, so I will be using a Easter theme with bunny rabbits and daffodils. I'm really excited to see what I can draw. I really want my drawing to become obviously better, and I'm hoping that drawing these spreads will help that happen. Do you draw your own spreads, or do you use illustrations, stickers, printouts? I'd love to know down below. Also, any page layout ideas that you have for me, I would love to see those. So as you can see, I'm now going in and colouring the tree, and I actually do go in later and add more lines with my fine line marker, just to give it a sort of more bark textured kind of look, which I really love how it turned out. And I'm just going in and again colouring in the foliage at the bottom with different colours of greens, and I go in and colour the flowers in the same colour of pink that's on the other page now with the stripes. I actually end up quite liking the stripes when I'm done. I think it actually goes in quite well. Once I add the header and calendar, I think it looks quite pretty actually. But yeah, a happy accident in the end, but still I think I'm definitely going to stop using the alcohol based ink markers, and hopefully that will stop the leak through from happening again in the future. So as you can see, I'm just drawing in my little calendar for the month now, and I've just stuck down the month of March title, which I did with calligraphy brush pens earlier on a sticker piece of paper. So I just stuck that down, and then I'm just writing in the month of March underneath it. I apologise if my voice is a bit crackly. I do have a slightly sore throat, so I apologise for that. So as you can see, I'm going in with my sticker, and I'm just kind of mapping out where I want it to sit so that it's in the frame correctly. And then I got these beautiful frames on AliExpress, and I'm just adding some 3-in-1 glue to it at the back, and then sticking it down where I want it. And it's a sort of embossed floral frame, and I just really love how it looks. So next I move on to the next spread, which is a double spread for my month at a glance. When I realised that the tree had basically, the ink from the tree had seeped through the page, I went away and drew this on a separate piece of paper, as it was just no way I was going to see it if it was drawn straight on the page. So I'm just putting this label down first, just to kind of cover up that brown ink for my header, and then I'm sticking down this little sticker I made for Mother's Day and just popping that up in the corner as well. And I wrote the word March with a brush pen earlier, and I'm just using a Pritt stick to glue that down. And then I made a bunch of other stickers with the days of the week and months and tabs and things like that. So I've just grabbed the one set of the days of the week, so Monday to Sunday, and I'm just cutting them down so that they fit in the space, the top of the boxes that I've made for each day, just so that they're not overlapping or anything. And then I'm just going to go in and place those down with my tweezers. And then once that's done, I'm going to move on to the next page, and this is my monthly planner page. So I've got my to-do list for the month, my YouTube schedule for the month, my Instagram and TikTok schedule, and my to film for the month. So again, I'm just using this sort of vine design where I've drawn around the box, and then I've added leaves which I'm colouring in green once I rub out my pencil lines. And then I'll add the header at the top, and again it was one of my stickers that I created that just says to do. And then once I'd finished this, my phone really needed to charge, so after this one you will notice that the boxes on the other side that I've done in pencil will change, as I decided that I didn't like them anymore. So while my phone was charging, I went in and changed those, and I decided to do another vine like box for my YouTube planner. And then I've got two small boxes underneath that for TikTok and Instagram, and then the other box is for a list of videos that I want to film this month. So again, I'm just going in and colouring those leaves, and then I'm just grabbing a pink pen, and this is a Tombow water-based pigment ink pen in the colour pink, and I'm just going around the box on the left there with some washi tape, and it's like a film strip, which I thought was quite appropriate as this is my to film box. So I just went around with this little washi tape here, and then I go in and add my headers, which again are stickers that I made just to go into my bullet journal, as I didn't have any kind of stickers like this that say like the days of the week and things like that, and I thought it would be a tad prettier to use stickers rather than write everything in myself. So now I'm just going in and adding a little bit of decoration. I've just added that pretty sort of flower bed washi tape to the side there, and then I'm just kind of playing around with some more stickers until I'm happy with the layout, and then I just stick them down. Unfortunately, this is where my camera decided to stop filming, so I did end up finishing this off camera by accident. On to the next two spreads. I'll be doing my monthly expenses and my habit tracker. So on the left hand side page, I am going to be doing my expenses, and I'm going to be putting background covers on both pages, and I picked these two really pretty blue nature themes, and I'm just covering them with double-sided tape from my tape runner and then sticking them down. I have obviously cut them down to the correct size for my page, but I really love how these look. So I've got a sort of flip out page here that I'm just gluing in like a tip-in, and it's got one side that says date, details, in and out for my expenses, and then I've also got my shop expenses, so items I've sold and things like that. And then I've also got a restock of products list that I will be sticking in on that page as well. But I'm just adding a little bit of decoration and the title to the page. So I've just got some ripped music paper and some ripped script here, and then I've done the title saying expenses in a brush pen in blue on sticker paper, and I'm just going to stick that down on top of those little ripped pieces of paper. I almost forget to add my restock list, but I catch it just before moving on to the next page. So I do the same, I add this in as a tip-in because I don't want to cover that page, it's too pretty. So I just use some washi tape and stick it down, and I add that to the front and the back just so that it's nice and secure. But I do end up going back in and adding some tape to that later, as Kindle started lifting when I went to decorate the back side of the restock page, as I didn't like what it looked like. But anyway, on to the next page, which is my habit tracker, and I've just written out the title again on sticker paper, which I've just stuck down, and I have 6 of them, one for YouTube, work, study, skincare, TikTok and Instagram, and I will just check these off on the days that I do any of those activities. And then I'm just going back into that previous spread to cover up the back of that tip in there, as I don't like what it looks like. So I'm just taking one of my images from one of my little memo pads from my shop, and I'm just making a sort of frame with that same washi tape I used to tip it in, just to keep it nice and cohesive. So I'm just sticking that down, and then I'm going to go in with my tape roller and then stick my image on top. And this is when I go in and add some Scotch tape, the invisible tape, just to reinforce that tip-in. So now we're going to go on to my first weekly spread, and this will be the last spread we do in this video. And I'm going back in with my Tombow brush pen. It's a very tiny brush for the brush pen, but I really like the colour, and I'm doing a sort of pink and blue theme for this month. So I'm just drawing my boxes. So I draw 5 boxes, and then I also draw a line for Saturday and Sunday, and then I'm going in with some more of my stickers that I made for the days of the week, and I'm just sticking those down on top at the top of the boxes. And then I will go in and add the date. So I'm going in and adding my to-do list first, actually, sorry, which is just a little label that I made, and I'm just popping it in the corner with another sticker that says to-do list. And then I'm going to take my letter stickers and write out the word March. I think these are really pretty. They're a tad big, but I quite like how they're written with the calligraphy. So yeah, once I've done decorating that, I will just put a little circle with my pen, and then in the side that I will add the day, what date it is next to the day. So I've got this cute little sticker that I made for Mother's Day again, and then my calendar, and I've just circled the first week so that I know it's week 1. And again, just adding the dates. So here now we have our flip through, and I really love how my bullet journal has come together. I can't wait to start using it, and I hope that I continue to use it throughout the year, and that it definitely helps me stay organised. I really hope you enjoyed this video and the process of me setting up my first bullet journal. Like I said, if you haven't seen part 1, I will link it below. And if you like the look of this bullet journal and would like to get one for yourself, they are available in my Etsy shop, which is linked below. And I also have a slightly larger A5 bullet journal, which is a fabric covered journal. So yeah, if you're interested and would like to get one for yourself, definitely check out my Etsy shop, and the link will be in the description box below. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, I would really appreciate it if you could give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe to see more videos like this one and other junk journaling content. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you're all well, and I will see you all soon. Take care and God bless. Bye.